Hey, what's going on guys, Khraze here, welcome back to No Man's Sky Origins Update 3.0. This is the first impressions video of the new update. I'm gonna go over the best things that have just been added in the new update and kinda go over my opinions of it and why I think it completely changes the way you play in many of the aspects when it comes to, well, just playing No Man's Sky in general. So here we are in the main menu. This is how it looks now. The UI has been completely revamped, or should I say, let's just say just upgraded. It's definitely more space-like right now with the way it is. So when you enter the game for the very first time, you have the option between multiplayer and single player, and of course if you choose one of these, you can just go in and you will see that all of the UI has been changed by quite a bit. What's most intriguing is the fact that if you choose a new game and go into any of the game modes like normal, survival, permadeath, these look really amazing right now. And what's most amazing about them is the fact that all of the artwork that we're seeing right here, this was created by No Man's Sky fans. So how crazy is that? How many developers out there do you know of that reward their player base in such a way that they actively pursue them and ask them for the artwork to be used in game? And I might say that this is an excellent fit right here. This screen looks so much freaking better. But let's go into one of my save files and I'm gonna go over some of the biggest changes that you should look for. So yeah, here we are on the space station, but let me show you the rest of the UI and how it looks. It looks amazing, doesn't it? I mean, all of these color combinations, I think it's a much better fit than anything in the past. Now the color actually fits your Quicksilver, so that makes a lot of sense, and this applies to everything that you have in terms of UI and screens. Like, all of these have been made way more cohesive. They were brought together in a much better way than ever before. Now let's go over some of the first additions that were added to the space station, and of course now you're seeing that there is a bigger thing happening in the multi-tool section of the space station, and that's because they've added a brand new multi-tool upgrade station. It works very similarly to that of the Starship one that we had a while ago. So let's go over some of these changes because you're gonna want to make use of this, especially if you found a really cool looking model but it's not a full maximum rank or it doesn't have enough slots. Well, don't worry, No Man's Sky got you covered with all of that. So in terms of expanding its inventory, you have a couple of options. You can either go with just straight up units, case in which the increase is going to be incremental, or you can go with the multi-tool expansion slots, which are very similar to the ones that you can get for your ships, but you need to go and explore some of the planets and get them from over there. I'm pretty sure that you get these either from facilities or randomly from some of the stuff that you can discover on planets. But I do have a C class right here. It's the starting multi-tool, and as you can see, this is how the price starts. So it starts with 110,000 units and then it incrementally increases every time you do it. And yes, if you were wondering, you can go up to 24 slots with literally any multi-tool in the game, even if it started with only like a handful of inventory slots. So eventually you're gonna reach prices like 1 million plus for each of these slots, case in which you are definitely going to want to use some of those modules that I was talking about. But we can also upgrade the class, so even if it's a C class and you like the model, it's not a problem anymore. You can definitely upgrade it to something like a maximum S class, and it's gonna cost you quite a bit, which is why we're likely going to make a brand new units or, well, nanites farming method, because we definitely need something like that. What did change, another cool thing that actually changed, was for the scrap dealer on the space station, the one that gives you the coordinates to derelict freighters. Now they also have an option to purchase old scrap, and this is what got me quite by surprise. I haven't purchased any of these yet, so we're gonna do it together, but all of these will cost Pugnium. Pugnium, you get this from just destroying sentinels and collecting their remains. You will get a lot of Pugnium from that, and the bigger the sentinel, the more Pugnium is going to give you. So let's buy one of each. So suspicious package, another suspicious one but technology, another one but for weapons, and finally a suspicious hazard protection module. Select the inventory tab and use E to examine it. So you press E to examine these. Okay, that's actually really great. You can turn Pugnium into a lot of units. I basically just turned 300 Pugnium into 50,000 units. That's not too bad. Okay, so this is just scrap. You can either win or lose. I guess I lost on the bigger one. And we got a suspicious infraknife module. Okay, the module is flexible and exact upgrade statistics are unknown until installation is complete. Now I'm really curious. So how does this work? Let's see how it looks. It doesn't even have like a class. It's an X class. This is X. What? I think this is on a C or B rank level right here. Even though it says X rank. Yeah, now we did talk about these, but let's go over some of the new buildings that have been added in the game. And for that I'm gonna need a bit of navigation data, so I hope that I can find a few of these right here. But basically they've added some new archive, let's just say buildings in the game. These are part of the new mega structures that you're gonna want to visit. They are pretty important for the overall gameplay. They do provide something new, so I'm gonna show you exactly what you need to do in order to find these. We're gonna need navigation data for that, so I got a bunch of these, and you're gonna want to go at the cartographer NPC and buy some of these charts. Now the charts that we're gonna look for are for the inhabited outposts. The inhabited outposts are the one that you're going to want to search for, because these are the ones that have a chance to point you towards that. So once you purchase the number of these, go into your space station, and we're gonna do a small little save over here, so in case it fails I can go back and just do it again. So going back, here's my planetary chart, and once I press it, it should say archive. So we found the transmission tower. That was not good enough. And the second one is another transmission tower. Okay, minor settlement. So this is not good. I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat it up until it happens. Okay, so try number 2. I think it should work. Planetary archive, look at that. First try, well, not really first try on the second try, but it just showed us where the planetary archive is. This is how you find it. You can also find it manually or randomly. I wouldn't recommend it though, because that's a little bit too crazy for me. So look at that, colossal archive right on that. I think it's gonna be volcanic planet. Whoa, look at that. Oh dude, this is different than the previous one that I saw. Like the previous one was almost like a pyramid shape. This one is completely different. So there's a bunch of NPCs over here. There's a bunch of objectives you can collect. I'm not sure what my ship is doing. This is huge, dude. What is this doing? I didn't check on this. I think for the most part these don't really do anything. What I do want to go over is this new addition, the artifact exchange vault. I'm pretty sure that this is bugged right now, so let me show you. Okay, it's not bugged anymore. So let me show you exactly what you need to know about this, because you can exchange many of these artifacts that you can find randomly in your journeys. Like you can find something like a lost artifact or a historical document or biological sample, and you can find these in a number of ways. You can get these as rewards from missions. You can find these as random encounters, like one of those NPCs that fly by you and they offer you one of these relics. Accept it. Every time you see it, accept it, because it can give you one of these. But otherwise you can also find them from the ancient ruins. You can go into one of these ancient ruins. There's 3 keys that you need to unlock, and once you get the 3 keys you can unlock them from some of those chests. But in this case I want to see what it gives me, because yesterday this didn't work for me. So going in, I'm gonna submit a lost artifact, clumsy bonfire stick, fossilized theropod jawbone. So it kind of trades in something. Oh, that was not a good trade, dude. Oh no, that was not a good trade. Or was it? Maybe it was. I forgot the price. Let's see with the historical one. So archaeologists will be compensated for all contributions. Submit a new artifact to the vault to exchange it for an archived artifact of equivalent or greater rarity. Okay, I get it. So you can't get anything lower, but you have a chance to get something higher. This might just be a new way of making a lot more units, assuming you're lucky enough. 181. So that's a 20,000 units profit. Not too shabby. I was kind of expecting a bit more, but you know, I'm gonna take it. But yeah, this is actually not a bad way to submit your samples and visit some of these places. Of course, we do have some NPCs, a merchant here that sells components. These are the more rare ones that you can also find on space stations, but some of them can be useful for crafting, like semiconductor. I think that this is useful for stasis devices. So you can come here and create those really expensive ones. And there's also blueprints, but in my case I already purchased all of these and I'm fully loaded, y'all. Now I do have this thing right here. By the way, you should visit these at least for this local information machine. So ancient ruin is what you're going to discover by accessing some of these new charts, and it's going to be super easy since it doesn't cost you too much. You could also theoretically go to the cartographer on the space station, but I think that one points you towards something different. So this is straight up ancient ruin, and if I go to it, it would provide something like this, either a historical document or maybe just biological flora or whatever. It would provide something like that. Now the most important likely is going to be the one in the center right here. Of course, you can come in and interact with these objects, but you're gonna want to interact with the archive itself. Now the archive provides a piece of lore. So the Gek archive is intended only for its own species, so I don't think you can even fail this dialogue sequence. I did one for the Corvex and I never failed one of these. So, and here is the piece of lore. So the Viking High Command seek no profit. They offer no friends, no allies, no contribution. They claim to be a people of honor. They claim to be good and just. But behold the war factories, behold the battle enzymes, the flash circuits, the source of all courage and strength. Behold the harvested organs of heretics of the weak. And holy moly, that means they just dissected a poor Viking. So the Viking are hypocrites, they are liars, they refuse to accept the Gek have changed. They threaten us, yet they do not attack. So I think this is kind of like countering the argument from the previous sentence, since you kind of dissected one of these. There are more than 100 such entries in the archive, a parade of atrocities, more evidence of supposed Viking depravity and Gek superiority. And that is it. Now the reason I've said in the beginning of the video that this can completely change the way you play is because now I'm exclusively looking in blue systems. Well, you can go in green and red ones too, since these have a high chance to spawn anomaly planets too, but previously I would only go in yellow systems, since this would have some of those lush planets and they were the only ones in my opinion that were worth visiting. But now, since they added all of these crazy looking environments, I feel way more compelled to stay a lot more in these blue systems. And yeah, as I said, the new update added so much to the environments and all of the exploration. Like, I'm finding so many creatures and I haven't even scratched the surface. There are so many more that I have yet to see yet, and this extends to biomes too. Like, if you look at the generation itself, you can now finally find entire mountain ranges. You can even land on them and maybe even build a base if that's what you want to. I even saw meteorite showers. Like, this was definitely one of the best moments that I've seen in the game. Staying at night on one of these frozen planets and just noticing a really cool meteor shower. Of course, it can also land on you, by the way, and I'm pretty sure you can collect some of those resources. But by far the most impressive is how much they have combined all of the existing biomes with the ones that are new. So you can even find something like a lush planet with some really interesting new alien effects. And then by far my favorite, the one that I already covered yesterday, is the new volcanic type planet with a lot of storms incoming and even thunderstorms, by the way. So this is just the surface of it all. This is truly the best generation and the best environment update that we got up until now. But this is it with the first impression. The update so far seems to be really awesome, by far one of the best this year, and who knows, maybe top 5 of all of the updates that were ever released for No Man's Sky. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up on it would be super awesome. Also, don't forget to maybe subscribe, maybe even activate that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.